Alright, what's up guys, it's DBC Feats here. I'm going to try to make a quick video so you guys can, have something to watch. Get my YouTube page started. Alright, this video is about Dbs Piccolo versus New 52 Superman. I think Dbs Piccolo will win, so that's the stance I'm going to be debating from. So, to make this video pretty simple, I'm going to use a few quantifiable feats from each of the 4 or 5 of his main storylines. All right, and I'll put them in context so you can't really argue with any of them. All right. All right. So the first one I'm going to be starting with is Superman 2011, and we're going to be going to issue 12. Actually, issue 11. Where Superman has trouble fighting somebody that can dodge his heat vision, which is stated to be light. All right, we know that Raditz, Namek Saga, can dodge light speed attacks, a few feet while they're a few feet away from him. All right, so Dbs Piccolo is way, way faster. All right, it's not, if I just put it that way, then it's not very, it doesn't mean much. But you're going to, as I continue to tell you all of these showings, then you'll understand why Dbs Piccolo is he would actually stomp Superman despite his best feats. All right, so we're going to be taking it to issue 12 now, where Superman actually is afraid of a nuke. That's more speculation because you can argued against that, but we're going to see why he would be afraid of a nuke. All right, let's take it to the Heel event, which starts on chapter 13 or issue 13, and this is actually where his best feats are. So I'm using his best feats to tell you that he can't beat Dbs Piccolo. One of his best feats is benching the planet for 5 days. Very impressive. Let's move on from that. All right, another one of his best feats is shaking the planet by punching. All right, but very impressive. Don't get me wrong. And if you get anything from me, just know that I want you to go read this stuff yourself, because I'm pretty sure that your reading comprehension is better than my ability to explain it, unless you can't read. But anyway, so we're going to be taking it to issue 12, all right, where we find a Kryptonian dragon is roaming through Metropolis. Superman starts to fight him. He finds out that this thing's actually pretty powerful and it's stronger than him. Not only that, it's capable of killing him. It's got him wrapped up, and he can't break his grip. To get out of the grip, he had to use his heat vision to ignite a oil rig that killed the Kryptonian dragon. So he used his heat vision to ignite and blow up an oil rig, and that killed the Kryptonian dragon that was even stronger than he was. All right, so now we're going to go to the issue 4. We're going to go to 15 and prove that Superman isn't star level. All right, Heel has a ship or it's like a star chamber, which he's going to use to get back to before Krypton was destroyed. All right, to do that, he needs an energy source, and Lex said that the same energy, he says the same infinite energy that the Collector, Brainiac, used to bottle Kandor is what the approximate amount of energy that Heel would need. But we go to find out that quote unquote infinite energy is actually the equivalent energy of the sun. So if Heel had to get the energy from the sun, that means he didn't have it himself, because he could just use he can just use his own star chamber to absorb his own electromagnetic energy. That was energy specifically stated by Lex Luthor, and that's it. Energy that's specifically inside of really all of us, but more so Superman and the Kryptonians. So yeah, and there's nothing that they could have done about the blast. They tried to attack the ship instead of trying to tank the blast, and we've seen them try to tank blasts head on. So if they could, they would, but they didn't. Which includes Wonder Woman, Superman, Flash, Cyborg. All right, so we're going to be moving on. What else happens? I'm doing this all from head. I have a reference. I got my phone pulled up, but I'm just doing this all from head. So please bear with me. And I'm gonna try to make it, a shorter video. Oh yeah, so yeah, that was written by Scott Lobdell. And like I said, there's like four main, I don't know if I said it, but there's like four main comics, and fifth if you include JLA. So I just proved to you that according to Scott Lobdell and the Superman 2011, that he's not even star level. So let's go to Superman, Wonder Woman. Pull it up real quick. Superman, Wonder Woman. And like I said, I don't know if I said it on this video. I already made 2 videos at this point that I had to delete. But something that I want to stress is that you really don't even have to take my word for it. Like, you can tell if you ever see me debating on my Instagram page at Dbs with anybody, don't even have, just breeze through what we said and then just go fact check it. It's that simple. Just a Google away. So if anything, I just want you guys to go actually read these events so you can understand the full scope of it. And no, I'm not just bullshitting. I'm a fan of DC myself. I know it doesn't seem like it at times, but these are just the facts. You can't deny facts. New 52 Superman has consistent showings that prove he would lose to Dbs Piccolo, and I'm trying to prove it if I can find this. There we go. Find the comic. All right, so Superman, Wonder Woman, and to preface, this is Superman and Wonder Woman at the end of their runs, or the middle endish of their runs, and this is written by Charles Soule. We're going to be taking it to issue. I mean, God, you guys really need to read this because there's so much information and scans out there in this New 52 era to prove that these guys, Superman specifically, couldn't beat anybody higher than Namek Saga Frieza. But anyway, yeah, if you read it, then it's clear. But anyway, let's keep on going. Like on issue 1 or 2, Wonder Woman is like staggered and she falls limp from a torpedo. Right? In Aquaman, it's proven that Arthur can't take on several dozen human military submarines. It's proven in JLA that that Atlanteans can die from torpedo attacks. The just base Atlanteans can die from torpedo attacks, and Superman has been staggered by Aquaman and other Atlantean level characters. But anyway, let's continue with Superman, Wonder Woman, which came out in 2013. So yeah, this is right around the time of Batman, Superman, which we'll get into. And like I said, there's a lot of feats, but there's a lot of showings that prove it. But I'm going to name like the major ones from each storyline, so you can't really say it's low showings because it's from the same series. So it's from the same series. You can't really say it's a low showing. It's just how powerful that character is according to this series. All right, in issue 6, he fights Zod and Ferora, and he's beaten by them pretty bad. He's unconscious. He wakes up. put in a chamber where he can't absorb sunlight, so he's weakened. All right. Him and Wonder Woman talk about it, and then they decide to set off a nuclear blast to foil the plans of Zod and Ferrari. And that explosion nearly killed him. All right, to put it in context, Namek Saga Frieza was cut in half and had barely any ki left, if none. I don't think he had any ki left, and he survived the planet exploding on him once again while cut in half. So that tells you how vast the power difference is. Look, you can just Google search how many nukes it takes to blow up a planet. All right. I'm just gonna say he wasn't trained. He's not trained in excuse me. So in Superman Wonder Woman, we find out he's not trained. All right, the only training he has received is some boxing lessons from his dad, and he's a farmer, so he's not trained. And Wonder Woman points that out. Why this is important is because Wonder Woman is pretty weak in New 52. And from this Superman Wonder Woman 2013, she's been staggered by hail. She's been staggered by high intensity lightning, including Superman was staggered by high intensity lightning, which it wasn't the first time anyway. But let's continue. She's been staggered by exploding gas pipe, and she was nearly killed by a nuke too. She was saved because Superman had a indestructible cape that he wrapped around her. All right, and why that's important is because Wonder Woman was able to stalemate two Kryptonian beings that were beating on Superman because she's a trained fighter, and they actually make a note why they're beating on him is because he's not trained. So Piccolo is he's capable of, he trains every day, and he's capable of contending. He has the experience of King Piccolo. King Piccolo is probably centuries old. Okay. So he has all that experience, and his skills on par, if not his actual skill and intellectual fighting is on par with the Saiyans. The Saiyans have a natural ability for fighting, so they have the edge. But Piccolo is a very well trained fighter, to say the least. So yeah, so let's go to Superman Batman. Also created in 2013 by my guy Greg Pak. Alright, let me pull it up real quick. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on Superman Batman. You just gotta read it. So what happened in Superman Batman? A plethora of things. We just find out that Superman can't tank not even city level blasts without falling down and being staggered. He can't even take continent level blasts. If the beam was at full power, it could blow up a continent. So it wasn't at full power, and he was stopped in his tracks while he was flying. In Dragon Ball, Piccolo tanked a Super Kamehameha that can easily shatter the moon, according to the Daijinshi, which is a guide. So, and Piccolo tanked the blast and didn't even budge. So you can look that up in the manga or in the anime. I don't know if I'm going to include the scans for that. Since this is a lengthy video, I don't know if I'm going to include the scans, but I told you where you can find them in each of the 4 series. So I don't know if I'm going to include all the scans, but for my future videos, it's going to be chock full of scans. This is real late, and I'm trying to get into bed. So with that, there's some more. Trust me, there's plenty of other stuff that I'm just not naming, like JLA. Like Superman should have been able to solo the parademons, because they're individually like Batman level. So they're even individually like Batman, and Batman wouldn't even be able to see Kid Goku fight once he got serious. So Dbs Piccolo's combat speed will be like incomprehensible to parademons, but they can still see Superman. So His combat speed is my bad. His combat speed is beyond New 52 characters. Travel speed is a different story, but combat speed is what we're talking about. So this is the fight. And so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna talk about what happened in JLA a little bit. And what happened in JLA is, I'm trying to think, quantifiably, Superman can't tank, or he can tank it, you know, because he didn't die or anything, but he got sent flying from an attack from Aquaman. Aquaman is not even planetary at all. In his issues, I don't know if I said it in this video, in his issues, he can't even take on a submarine armada, which includes like several dozen submarines, human submarines. All right. Superman was staggered by Volko, who is a average. I wouldn't say necessarily average. He's like the High Council, but I don't know how much. I don't know if that has anything to do with power. But he's another Atlantean, and he rocked Superman. He sent him flying, and Dbs Piccolo is just well beyond Atlantean level characters. Other than that, I mean, I can include. Okay, I'm gonna do one more, then I'll wrap it up. All right, we're gonna talk about Unchained Superman, where he proves he can't even tank 200 megatons, which is not even moon level. Okay. So what happened in Unchained Superman is, to keep it simple, Lex Luthor makes a solar energy fuel amp, which he intends to give to Superman, where he would explode with the equivalent energy of 200 megatons. Instead of him injecting himself with that, what happens is somebody named Wraith, which is the representation of Superman with more time in the sun and more control over his powers. So he's stronger than Superman. Superman admits that. Wraith takes the injection and he explodes with the equivalent force of 200 megatons and he dies. So that proves Superman can't even tank blasts, full power blasts from Master Roshi, according to Scott Snyder. All right. And there's so much information proving that, you know, he's not capable of fighting Namek Saga Frieza, let alone Dbs Piccolo. Namek Saga Frieza, I don't know if I said it in this video, I'll keep on saying that, but Namek Saga Frieza breathed, he exhaled, and killed 3 Namekians that had the power level of around 10,000. With the power level of 10,000, you can blow up planet casually. So he defeated multi-planetary beings by blowing on them. And Superman has never shown that, you know, at all. If he did, then he wouldn't need an oil rig explosion to kill the Kryptonian dragon. You know, if he had that level of power, then he should one-shot Wraith, who died from a 200 megaton explosion. All right, so on and so forth. I hope this video was informative. Sorry for the lack of feats, but I did give you, the lack of scans, but I did give you where you can find them, and I'll try to include as many as I can. Thank you, peace, love, and light. I'm gonna do it like Comics Explained. Peace. Bloody